In this presentation, you will learn about the ancient Indian communication model, Shruti. Shruti, that which is heard. The word Shruti is derived from the Sanskrit root shru, meaning to hear. It refers to divinely revealed knowledge that was heard by ancient sages or rishis in deep states of meditation or heightened consciousness. Shruti is considered apurushai, that means not man made or beyond human authorship. So it is divine authorship. It is a divine being who has given this information to us. These texts are seen as eternal truths existing before time and only received or heard by the sages or the religious. Characteristics of Shruti: divine origin. It is believed to be revealed by the cosmos or Brahman to enlightened seers. So it is a divine information that is being passed on. Oral tradition, transmitted through precise memorization, that means remembering those lines, and recitation techniques, repeating those lines. Unalterable, because it is considered sacred and immutable, that means something that cannot be changed. Even a phonetic change was avoided. So the slightest, smallest change was not made. So it is therefore unalterable. Authorless. It is not credited to any one individual, unlike other texts such as Smriti. So there's no one author who has given us the information. It has been handed down over the ages. Highest authority, serves as the ultimate source of dharma. That means serves as the ultimate source of what your duty is. Structure and classification of Shruti texts. Shruti literature is primarily composed of the four Vedas, and each Veda contains four layers. Let's look at the four Vedas. First one, Rig Veda, hymns to deities, nature worship, cosmic principles. Rig Veda is also considered as the oldest Veda. The second one is Yajur Veda, which contains sacrificial formulas and rituals. The third one is Samaveda, which is made up of musical chants and melodies for rituals. And the fourth is Atharva Veda, which contains magical spells, folk wisdom, and healing practices. Components of each Veda. Samhitas is the section where there are a collection of hymns and mantras used in rituals. Brahmanas are prose texts explaining the rituals and the ceremonies. Aranyakas are forest treatises, which are contemplative texts for the religious or for the ascetics. Upanishads are philosophical discourses on the nature of reality, self, and Brahman. The Upanishads mark the culmination or the end of Shruti, focusing on Gyan, which is knowledge, over ritual, and form the core Vedanta philosophy. So they are the basis for all knowledge about the religion. Oral tradition and communication techniques. The oral transmission of Shruti was exceptionally rigorous. By that we mean it was perfected and was passed down over the years. Techniques included Padabhatta, which means recitation word by word, Ramapatta, which is sequential recitation in pairs, Ghandapatta, complex patterns of repetition to preserve the phonetics, to preserve the pronunciation, Chandas, use of meter and rhythm for memorization. So you put a tune to it so that it stays in your mind. Swar, specific intonations and pitch to maintain sound integrity. So there was a particular tune that was used, and that helped one remember the entire verses. This ensured perfect preservation for over 2000 years before any text was written down. So before writing, they were able to preserve the study of Shruti literature through oral tradition. Role of the Guru Shishya Parampara. Communication of Shruti relied on the teacher disciple tradition. The Guru imparted the text orally, and the disciple listened, recited, and memorized without written aid. This method cultivated not only memory but discipline, concentration, and spiritual readiness. Philosophical and societal role. Shruti defines the spiritual and moral foundation of Indian society. It is considered the final authority on metaphysics, dharma, moksha, and rituals. All subsequent, that means all following religious and philosophical developments, that are the smriti, the darshanas, etc., are basically rooted in Shruti. Core ideas include Brahman, which is the ultimate unchanging reality, Atma, which is the individual soul or self, Karm, which is action and its consequences, and Moksha, which is liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Let us look at it from a communication point of view. Transmission. Shruti literature was oral, sound based, interpersonal. Memory and repetition were key to remember the words. The medium, pure sound, because it was spoken, there was only sound that was used, so believed to be the sound body of the Vedas. The audience, students who were studying under the Guru, so initiated students or brahmacharis, scholars, priests, and ascetics, so the religious were part of the audience. Language. The language used was Vedic Sanskrit, which is different from classical Sanskrit. Preservation. This they ensured through institutions like Vedic Pathshalas and family lineages. So they ensured that Shruti literature stayed through all these years through the study, that means Vedic Pathshalas, or through family lineage from one generation to the next. In today's time, Shruti is still very relevant and it continues to influence the rituals in Hinduism. For example, you have yajnas or chanting of mantras, spiritual discourse and Vedanta studies. Traditional educational systems still study Shruti literature. Vedic chanting is recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage of humanity due to its unparalleled oral tradition. It is a very unique tradition, and therefore UNESCO has made it a heritage or a cultural heritage memorial. Shruti represents India's earliest and most profound model of communication, one that is not only spiritual and philosophical but also rooted in meticulous oral tradition. What we're trying to say is that it is the only earliest and most well known, profound, special model of communication. It is not only spiritual and philosophical, but it is also an understanding of how people studied over and over again and kept or maintained the oral tradition. As an ancient communication framework, Shruti teaches us the value of disciplined listening, oral memory, and sacred sound in transmitting knowledge across generations. It laid the foundation for all Indian intellectual and religious thought and remains a living heritage of timeless wisdom. Thank you for watching the presentation. Do like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments about this presentation or any other topics you would like to learn more about.